All right, hi Juliana. I'm going to do the best to explain. I'll probably do one problem at a time because I'm fixing to have to go to my second job, but I will send you one at a time and we'll do it that way. All right, so your mom said that you guys have done trig, so I'm guessing you've done special right triangles. So since they're wanting us to find the measure of this arc, I need to find the measure of this angle. So you can either use trig or you can do special right triangles. In this case, I'm going to do special right triangles because I see right away that this leg and the hypotenuse are half of each other or double, whichever way you look at it. So that's going to make this a 30, 60, 90. So this is 30 degrees, which makes this angle 60, which means if I drew another radius here, this angle would be 60. So this whole entire angle right here would be 120 degrees, making this arc also 120 degrees because it's a central angle and they're equal to the arc. This one here, the rule is if something is equidistant from the center, that makes this chord and this chord congruent to each other, which also makes this arc congruent to this arc. And if there are 360 degrees all the way around, and I subtract the 150, that gives me 210 to be shared between those two. So I would just divide by 2, and it would make each one of those arcs 105 degrees. In this problem, what I would do, since they want this arc, is if I can find this angle, then I can get the measure of the arc. So what I did, I'm trying to zoom in a little bit, is I just drew a segment right here perpendicular. Well, perpendicular. And when I drew it perpendicular, the rule is that it splits that chord in half, so that becomes 6. Well, if that's 6 and this hypotenuse is 7, I can find the measure of this angle right here and then double it. So when you're looking for the measure of an angle, you can use trig. So I know that this side is opposite and this side is the hypotenuse. So that would be the sine of x is opposite over hypotenuse. So you always use your inverse function to do that. So the inverse sine of 6 over 7 is 58.99 something. So we're going to go with 59 degrees, just around, sorry, just to round up. So that makes this angle and this angle both 59. So if those are both 59, then 59 times 2 is 118 degrees. These two problems here are just looking for, I'm assuming y'all went over all the rules. The measure of this angle or this one, because they're equal because they're vertical, are always going to be half of the sum of the two arcs that they line up with. So I always think of it as the measure of the angle is arc 1 plus arc 2 divided by 2. So I'm just going to plug in all this information, and since I see that it's squared, I know it's going to be a quadratic, so I'm going to have to factor. So I know the angle is 9x plus 4. The first arc is x squared plus the second arc is 11x, and then divide by 2. So if we multiply by 2 to get rid of the fraction, oops, slide that over here, that gives me 18x plus 8 equals x squared plus 11x. So I'm going to move everything over. So if I subtract 18x and subtract this 8, this gives me 0 equals x squared minus 7x minus 8. So now I can factor. So I get, I know 8 times 1 will give me 8. And if I do negative 8 plus 1, it gives me 7 when I add them together. So x minus 8 is 0, so x is 8. And x plus 1 is 0, so x is negative 1. Now, in geometry, you always want to make sure that you check the negatives. If I go up here and I plug a negative 1 in, that's going to make this arc negative 11 degrees. And that can't happen because you can't have negative degrees. So in geometry, this answer is extra, so it's not going to work. So your only answer is going to be that x equals 8. And then this one here, I always remember the measure of the angle is the big arc minus the little arc divided by 2. So again, I'm just going to plug everything in. The angle is 9x plus 4 equals the big arc, 26x minus 5, minus the little arc, 7x minus 2, divided by 2. And again, to get rid of the fraction, I'm going to multiply by 2. So I get 18x plus 8 again. This is going to be 26x minus 7x. And this is going to be negative 5 plus 2, which is negative 3. So now I can subtract 18, I get x, and I can add the 3 over here to get 11. And we find out that x is 11. So I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, please just have your mom text me, and I will try to explain it more in depth if I need to. So good luck on your test tomorrow.